Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher, along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, this is show number 2. We started the season 2 weeks ago. Or was it 3 weeks now?
3 weeks.
3 weeks we've had off. And we're back to talk about the NHL has gotten started. Of course, college hockey is underway. We're going to be talking a lot of high school this year, if the Minnesota Wild continue on the pace they're on, and the UNB Bulldogs. But
the Wild won last night, and it was a pretty entertaining game, really.
The Wild beat Montreal, and they're still in last place in the Western Conference.
Yep.
But they did win a game against Montreal, and it was a good win.
Yeah.
They looked good.
It was the fans enjoyed the game. Hey, do you know that was the first game that wasn't a sellout in 230-some games, I guess?
Saw the attendance, 17,003 or 400 something. I thought,
They call it a sellout, I guess, at 17,900 and something. Then they call it
yeah.
And this is the first one, I think, since they opened the stadium.
Yeah. Well, we heard from Mr. Leopold in the who's our owner?
Leopold.
Yeah, Leopold.
Craig.
Back in the past. And when the previous streak was broken, he said, "Oh well, streaks are meant to be broken." He didn't seem to care too much, but you got to care about that.
Right.
You don't want those things to happen.
And I guess if you're losing, the fans don't like losing.
I figured it out. I know why Leopold parted ways with former GM Fenton.
You do.
I do.
You dug deep.
I thought about it, and I got it figured out.
Okay.
He's a Wisconsin guy, Leopold.
Yes, he is.
In the first round of the NHL draft, the Minnesota Wild picked Matthew Boldy.
From the USA 18 team.
Caulfield, what's his name?
Cole.
Caulfield.
Yep.
On the table. I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking he looks and resembles Pat LaFontaine. Now, Pat LaFontaine picked second in the NHL draft back in, 1982 maybe, ahead of the number 1 pick of the Minnesota North Stars, Brian Lawton. A total bust. And I'm looking at this Caulfield, and I'm thinking he resembles Pat LaFontaine. And then the Minnesota Wild, with the pick, don't pick him. They pick Matthew Boldy. Caulfield, a Stevens Point native, playing at Wisconsin, and we pass him up. Now, will Boldy be a great player in the NHL for the Minnesota Wild? Maybe. Will Caulfield be a great player in the NHL for the Montreal Canadiens? Maybe. But I think it struck Leopold. I think Leopold wanted that kid. He's a Stevens Point kid.
Right down the block.
You need to build. You need to build regional support, and being Stevens Point, Wisconsin, I think that adds to, the Wild brand, if you will. And it didn't happen. Now, maybe I'm way off base, but I don't think I am. But I think Leopold was bothered by that.
Maybe. I'll tell you one thing, though. That kid, Cole Caulfield, can score.
He's the real deal.
Yes. And I tell you what, in hockey, I don't care what level, from the National Hockey League all the way down to Bantams and Pee-wees, it's hard to find scorers anymore.
I was stunned when the Wild passed him up. And I know Boldy's a good player, but he's out in Boston College? Our draft pick, Boldy?
Yeah, I think he is.
Or Boston University?
Yeah, he's out in the Boston area. Yeah,
and
one of the colleges there.
Caulfield, 4 games into the season in the Big Ten at Wisconsin, 6 goals.
They could have traded down, got another draft pick, and got Bobby Brink, too, another scorer, and he's a Minnesota kid.
I don't know.
This kid's at Denver, and he's in the top 10 in scoring already.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, we'll see.
I was really upset when they left Caulfield, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. They left him on the table, and he stuck there for a while until Montreal picked him, but I think it bothered Leopold.
Right.
Stevens Point kid, you don't draft him? Come on.
And look at the Wild. We got a lot of players that are over 30 years old that are getting paid big money for a long time. Zach Parise and Suter have 6 years left, counting this year.
Well, Jared Spurgeon was just...
He's the highest paid player right now.
Yeah, and that was just a recently redone contract at $7.5 million.
Right.
Through 2023, 2024. What do you think happens to these contracts with Parise and Suter? Where do you think the Wild go with it?
I think, number one, they're going to try to trade him if they okay it.
Now,
they have
these
to okay it.
contracts
are
were
guaranteed
for 13 years.
Right.
Guaranteed to the start of the 2023 season.
They got 6 years left.
Okay.
They have to, okay, let's say $7.5 million. No one's going to pay.
6 years, not 6 years.
Yes, there's 6 years left.
Well, it's 2019.
No, but I'm saying that's all it shows on the charts. It's 2 more years.
Oh,
That's
very
all.
okay.
So I couldn't get it.
So 2026.
Right.
Okay.
They got 6 years left on
All
their
right.
contract.
Okay.
So what probably is going to happen, they're going to try to trade him if they go for it. And if they do, a team might pay him half that salary.
Well,
And then they take the hit on their salary cap.
but what do they get in return? A player, draft picks?
No, they take the hit.
Well, if they trade them, they're going to get something in return.
They probably won't. They're not.
Well,
When you're,
if they
when
trade
you're
them,
that much and paying that much,
They're going to
money,
have to be traded to a contender. I mean, these guys aren't going to
Yeah,
go
they're
to,
not. This is their home. This is
uh,
their home.
a non-contender.
Madison's his home, right down the block.
Do
you
they
know.
rework these contracts to lessen the
They're going to
financial
be.
burden?
How can you rework it when they're getting 33 years old
well,
now?
okay, so having asked that then, do these players, Zach Parise, Ryan Suter, do they stay here through the term of their contracts?
I say no.
Yeah.
I say no. And then the second thing,
13 years, Jared. That
But
was
here-
a long time
Yeah.
for those two guys.
now at first everyone didn't even look
What
at
was
that 13
Alex?
years.
Yeah, what was Alex Ovechkin's? His might have been 13 early on, but he was a young rising
Right.
star, and nonetheless,
And the only other thing they can do is just drop them and take the loss. And that's a big hit. But the only other thing that
so
can
then
hit,
they save money to get other players,
right.
perhaps.
But the only other thing is
I
if
don't see that
National Hockey League can get contracts from other, like ESPN, contracts with them for
Yeah.
TV rights. Because right now all they have is NBC and NBC Sports Network. And they don't have
Yeah.
any other contracts with any. They can get other contracts for money. The salary cap will go up then.
Yeah.
And then it won't be as bad.
Well, where do the Wild go? What's wrong with this team? Is it the age of these players? Some of
I
them,
think the age and then the young ones, there's just not no superstars. They don't have anyone that it's by committee for scoring. You don't know who's going to score.
fourth line's done well.
Oh, I've seen some players on the third and fourth line. They're playing pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, you're right. You've got guys like these new guys, Greenway and Cunnin. They're good young players. Maybe even Sealer can be put in that bunch.
Well,
But
they've been playing the UMD kid last night. They dropped
Carson Soucy.
They dropped Sealer and put.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
on the sheet to play Sealer,
Yeah.
and they switched.
I don't know. I still think this comes back to coaching. I think this comes back to the staff.
But do they have the players to coach?
I found it very interesting. Yeah, they do. The right coach can get these guys motivated.
You think so?
And move them in the right direction. Yes, I do think so. I think.
Looking at their roster, do not believe they are a playoff team.
Well, I don't either. But, when you get somebody else in there with some other ideas, some better ideas perhaps, I'm just not a fan of Bruce Boudreau. I haven't been from the start. At Washington, he had a great team. I could have coached that team
Here's a positive thing.
and had that success.
Here's a positive thing, I think. I think they got the right GM in there right now.
I do
think
too.
this guy, Bill Guerin, is going to do a good job. But you got to give him time.
Sure.
The Wild aren't going to change overnight. It's
Well,
going to take 3-4 years.
That brings up an interesting point. Bruce Boudreau is not his guy. He's a
Right.
guy he inherited. Does Bill Guerin have some other thoughts on who can better coach this team?
Probably.
Maybe.
He's probably thinking
Who
about
would be
it.
a better coach? Is Joel Quenneville still looking for a job?
No, he's down in Florida now.
How about Jacques Lemaire? Is he still around?
He's fishing.
Mike Modano got any aspirations to coach?
There you go. Oh, man. But we'll see. I mean, it was a good win last night, though, and I think it took a lot of pressure off some of these players by that win.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. They got to play again Tuesday night against, I think it's Vancouver. Vancouver's starting out the year pretty good. We need a player like Conor McGregor that's coming in. We don't have one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's going to score a point a game or more.
Conor McGregor. I'm thinking of the UFC guy. Who's that guy? Conor McGregor. You're talking about the Conor up at Edmonton.
I'm talking hockey still.
Yeah, you're still on the hockey. Okay, just checking. You know, Jer, star power. Well, let's look at it. Zach Parise. Are his best days behind him? Maybe. More than likely. He's had injuries. Ryan Suter had a pretty bad injury last year. Seems to be on top of his game now. Jason Zucker. Victor Rask.
Look how much they're paying him for, $1 million.
For Rask.
I think he's gone.
Matt Dumba, great player. Jared Spurgeon, solid. Jonas Brodin, another solid guy. Devin Dubnyk.
Dubnyk, do you think he's getting up there in age where he's slowing down a little bit? He's having a slow start.
Yeah.
He's allowing over 4 goals a game, and his save percentage is only about 86%.
Where are the Patrick Waugh these days, or the Grant Fears? You know, the guys that were really cornerstones of teams back in the day.
Plus, these pads are bigger, and the players are bigger, and I don't know.
But this Wild team is a little bit of a mystery to some degree. Just me speaking, my personal thoughts. Coach has got to go.
Okay.
Coach has to go.
Well, we'll stay tuned for that one. We'll see what Bill does if they lose a few more games. I think if they were lost today and Tuesday, I think he would have been out of here.
Well, we heard about his playoff record even prior to coming here, and it's terrible.
Is it?
Bruce Boudreau, I don't think he's advanced past
the first round, second round.
Yeah, has he been to a Stanley Cup? You know, he's had good teams in Washington and Anaheim.
Right.
But okay, so what else do we have for Wild Talk?
Well, I'll give you a local National Hockey League. Jake Bishop, Grand Rapids kid that played for the University of Minnesota Gophers. He played his first game in the National Hockey League with the Vegas Golden Knights last game. I don't know if that was last night or the night before.
You know, Vegas is still the real deal.
And they got a lot of young kids.
They got a lot of former Wild guys.
Yeah.
Alex Tuck.
Yeah, they're young.
Halla's
gone.
Oh yeah.
He's over in Carolina.
Yeah.
And he's playing good.
Yeah.
It's funny how he's playing.
I know. Where did Justin Falk end up, or did he stay there?
He's in St. Louis.
Isn't that something?
How'd they afford him after the Stanley Cup? Usually you can't afford anyone after a Stanley Cup. You have to get rid of players. Look at Chicago Blackhawks. When they won a couple, they had to get rid of half their team.
So Jake Bischoff makes his NHL debut.
Right. Nice. So, hey, more Minnesota kids. That's what we need.
Well, there's a lot of Minnesota kids already, and
right.
you know, I don't want to make much about this Wild draft, and I'll get off it, but I think that they blew it not picking Cole.
Now, tell you the truth,
I think the Wild that upset Leopold.
They get a bad grade from me for their draft overall in the first since they've been in existence. Their draft hasn't.
Well, since 2009.
I never liked hardly any draft, really.
Since 2009, we're talking 10 years.
Okay.
Here's 3 players. Number 1 picks, gone. Nick Leddy.
All right. Ooh.
Mikael Granlund. Alex Tuck.
Oh.
And we talked about...
Leddy's still doing good, and Tuck is doing real good in Vegas.
Leddy never played, I don't think. I don't think he ever put on a Wild sweater. I think he was traded before they even had him on the ice, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong, but who did we get? Cam Barker from Chicago?
He played 1 month, and he's out. Done.
It's a terrible trade.
Right.
I was never a fan of getting rid of Cal Clutterbuck. We got a decent player in Niederreiter, and now he's gone.
Right.
But
who knows? Yeah. Stay tuned, folks. But we'll see. If they're not winning, I think the fan base is going to drop off big time. Because there's a lot of...
and we've already seen that.
Yeah. So
this Saturday, L.A. comes to town. The Kings with Alex Iafallo and Forbert.
Yep.
They'll be here Saturday.
I don't know if Forberg is injured because I didn't see him on the list here.
Well, I was hoping you might be able to shine some light on that. What's the status with Derek?
I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. What about, did you watch any of the UMD game with Wisconsin on TV this week?
We had a hard time with our chartered cable watching UMD hockey.
I did too.
Yeah.
And then I found out if you
Yeah.
went back to Fox Sports North, it was on there instead of the
Well,
Plus. They didn't tell us that.
You know, we had to deal with that, and so no, we didn't. But Friday night got away from them.
Oh,
Saturday night, I think they outshot Wisconsin. Couldn't get any power play goals. I think they had 5 or 6 chances on Saturday night. But the Bulldogs rather. Hey, Jerry, Wisconsin's a good hockey team.
oh, they picked those freshmen.
Ryder
And they're-
Donovan.
And he's on the fourth line. He gets little time.
Yeah.
And just think if he starts developing in by the second half of the year, and then you got the Cofields and all those other players they got from the USA team. These are first round draft picks they got on that team.
Now the Bulldogs play this weekend a home and home series with the Gophers.
Yeah, and the Gophers are a better team this
Are
year.
they undefeated?
No, they lost one game to Colorado College
Okay.
when they were out in Colorado.
Okay, Gophers 3-1 overall, and there's been no conference play, so everyone's
Right.
0-0 in conference play. But UMD 1-3 so far on the season. Denver 6-0.
Yep. Number 1 in the country.
St. Cloud State 0-2.
In no, in the pairwise, they got them down in around 52 in the pairwise.
They've only played 2 games.
Yeah, but 2 ties, and they're fifth. Come on,
Who did they tie to?
Bemidji State.
Okay.
So they put UMD 49 in the pairwise, St. Cloud State 52, and Bemidji State 54. All 2 of those teams are still top 20 teams.
That's odd.
That
I mean,
pairwise,
these are non-conference games.
and they didn't lose St. Cloud and Bemidji State. So how can they put them that low?
Yeah, interesting. Well, who do you got number 1, 2, 3?
Well, I just put some stuff out in the pairwise. Here's another weird one. North Dakota is 2-1-1, and Minnesota State's 3-1. North Dakota went down to Mankato this last weekend. They lost 1 game and tied 1 game. North Dakota goes up to number 2, and Minnesota State drops from 2 to 8.
That's odd.
Oh, yeah, 8. Tied for
Really?
8. Yeah.
In the pairwise.
Yeah.
This isn't the coaches.
I don't get it.
Okay.
I just don't get it how they can do
Oh,
that.
that's math on that. That's all
That's-
about math.
Talking about modern math that no one will understand.
What about the coaches poll? Where do they?
They didn't come out when.
Okay.
Usually it's about 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter too much early in the season. To
I
me.
agree. So again, UMD 1-3, the Gophers 3-1. They match up this weekend. Friday they will be at.
Mariucci.
And-
Oh wait, it's called 3M Mariucci. No, forget it.
Okay, but the rink, their home
Yeah.
rink.
Yeah.
On the campus.
Down the-
Okay.
Then they come back up to Amsoil on Saturday night.
Okay.
And that's a big series.
Sure it is.
It's sold out down there. It's going to be the first game in years.
That's sold out at Mariucci?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
If you wanted a ticket, they have a few left at $70. Do you want? How many you want?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And then, by the way, up here, I think it's the highest they ever charge for a ticket for a game is $45 for the game on Saturday night.
Okay.
So,
UMD hockey on the radio at 6:10 a.m., 103.9 FM KDAL.
oh, that's where it is when it's not on 610. They had baseball or something the other night.
Well, during the Twins games,
Yeah.
which now we don't
Oh, the
have to
World
worry
Series,
about.
I think, was on.
On KDAL?
I thought it was
No. Not instead of
because I
Bulldog
didn't
hockey.
pick up the game.
No. 610 KDAL, you're
Okay.
home for Bulldog hockey,
Okay.
and 103.9 FM.
Okay.
And there were some conflicts during Twins baseball, but
Okay.
and if there is some conflict, the alternate station for Bulldog hockey is 102.5 FM, The Duke.
The Duke.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so
Okay.
Wild hockey we're done with. UMD hockey, what else do we have?
So, what's wrong so far?
With the Bulldogs?
Yeah, it's a slow start. They should.
They
be
got
a
no
lot better.
punch. Their power plays Not doing anything.
Did you watch any of the Maslow game?
Some of Saturday night.
Okay.
Actually, both. Some of both.
Well, they're not a bad team though. You know.
Massachusetts Lowell.
Yeah, they're going to be in the top 25.
No, and that's the thing. The Bulldogs are going to have a target on their back. They're national champs.
And I'll tell you one thing: as soon as it comes to after this series this week, they take a weekend off and they get in the conference. They got Denver coming in. See, Colorado College is a lot. All these teams.
Yeah.
They got Omaha number 3 in the pairwise.
Yeah.
Miami, the worst team in the league last year. They're better. Mm-hmm. Western Michigan is going to be a playoff team, they say.
Well, the Bulldogs have to find their leaders.
So,
and, you got to get some guys that start scoring some goals on a regular basis, and they'll be ready for Denver. They'll be ready for Denver.
But I'm telling you this series this weekend, it means a lot. Small school, big school.
Yeah.
Minnesota series it's going to mean a lot.
Well, if anything matters here, it's the record that the Bulldogs have had against the Gophers in the past, 5-6 seasons. They've kind of
dominated.
Yeah, they have.
Dominated.
So they got that working for them.
Well, I called out the people that are going to score, like Perinovich and the Kate brothers and Richards and Swaney. So what's going to have to happen is some of these younger kids, the sophomores and freshmen forwards, they got one or two have to pick it up now and start doing something too.
Yeah.
Because they can't depend on the same old ones, And I don't know. They got a tough. The rink shrinks so fast now when you get into college and pros. There's not room.
Well, they got to take advantage of the situations they get when they get on the power play, and it hasn't worked too well. But Coach Sandlin, he knows how to do. He does the right things, and he'll work on these kids. He'll get them going. I'm confident.
Well, in the power play, they're 3 for 18.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah, it could be better.
16%.
Yeah,
but then their penalty kills real good.
Good.
1 out of 13.
All right.
So the Gophers are coming into town, and they're 1 in 13 themselves on penalty kill.
Yeah.
So 2 great penalty killing teams so far.
Oh, it's going to be a great weekend.
But the power play for the Gophers is 5 for 16, so they're 31%. So, but the Gophers are a better team, so it's going to be a tough series. It should be fun though.
Gophers are a better team, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
They got one of the better players in college hockey, and Sammy Walker, Edina boy, that first Edina kid that ever won Mr. Hockey, Minnesota.
First Edina kid?
Yes.
Ever?
Isn't that something? When you think about it, when you think that, all the great players that came out of Edina.
First Edina.
Last year.
Hornet.
Yep.
Not even Rick Jordan?
No.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
And they got 6 kids on the Edina team on the Gophers roster. 3 more are coming in. So we're going to call them the Minnesota Hornets.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There was a time back in the day when there were 2 Edina schools.
That's right, East and West.
Yeah.
And they'd win state tournaments on each one.
When did they do the consolidation? Do you recall?
I think it was in the 70s. I was
gone.
I
thought, yeah.
Yeah, and then that didn't last long. They went back to one school. And then.
Geez, I still remember when they went to the Tier 1, Tier 2, and then there was the time when they were constructing XL Energy Center, and they moved the high school hockey to the Target Center. And there's a great soundbite from, I can't remember who it was. He said, but you left the arena, you knew you weren't in St. Paul because you couldn't smell the garlic coming down from Casetas.
Oh, we got some sad news. George Reckla, he was on our show a couple 2 or 3 years ago.
Author?
Yeah, we used to sit next to him all the time at the Wild games. I do now. And he passed away. He had a heart attack a couple weeks ago. And so
see, he's an Iron Ranger.
Yeah, and he's a historian. He has more paperwork in his house. Oh, he writes everything down and saves everything.
Well, we got the book from him, something about the North Stars. I don't recall the title of it.
Right.
Oh, that's sad. How old was he?
I think he was 76.
Okay.
We got the news from our friend Roger Golden.
Oh, so Roger's still the
historian for the
curator?
Wild. Yeah, curator.
Okay.
For the Wild.
All right.
So, yeah. So, Our thoughts and prayers go out to George's family.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
George Rekala.
And what about former North Star, Danny Grant?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. Danny Grant passed away, and I was a young boy when
I loved him.
I did too. He was one of the first fan favorites, him and Bill Goldsworthy. But Danny Grant was a rookie. I think he started his career in Montreal.
Yeah.
Came to Minnesota and still was qualified as a rookie because of the short amount of games he played in Montreal. But he came to Minnesota and he instantly was
one of the fan favorites.
He really was, and I was saddened to hear he lost the battle with cancer, and I think he was 73.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. Danny
Yeah,
Grant.
he was good for 20 goals, you know that?
Oh, man. Yeah, he had a goal. Well, he had a non-goal. There was a situation, I can't remember. It was kind of was it a playoff game or a game that would have gone to the playoff? Anyways, he shot the puck, and it might have been an open net, I don't recall. And the puck went across the goal line before or after the whistle blew. It was, before the days of replay, obviously, but the puck has to be completely across the line before the whistle blows. There's some sports where once the whistle blows, it can still follow through. But nonetheless, Danny Grant, my goodness. Yeah, he was a fan favorite. He was one of your favorites too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. You're older than me.
I know.
I think you're much older than me.
But me and Danny got along real well.
So, you were out in Colorado?
Yeah. Saw the Gophers in Colorado. There's another team that's a lot better. Talking about the NCHC league. I mean,
The Tigers?
yeah.
Yeah.
They got that first line is one of the better ones in college hockey.
Oh, okay.
They got this Wilkie kid that has one of the best shots in college hockey.
Related to Red?
No,
Okay.
Red's not connecting in this one.
Red Wilkie, former referee in the old WCHA.
High school too.
Red Wilkie.
Remember him in high school?
Well, again, you're much older than me.
Yes.
We've got just a couple of minutes left. High school hockey, anything cooking?
Well, another month and then we'll find out some of these players that left early. They say they're going before and after and coming back to high school. We'll see if they come back. Because a lot of times these USHL teams just get on them for staying with their team. So we'll see.
Coach Mike Randolph has his Bantam camp going on still?
That's done now because the Bantams are starting to play,
All right.
practicing and
Okay.
playing games now.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll get all the high school coaches in the area on here again. Just
Okay.
get a outlook. And Denfeld's going to be a lot better team too.
Nice.
That nice Bantam team, a lot of those players are on the high school now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll get all the coaches and talk about their teams.
Awesome. Well, here we are back after a 3-week hiatus, and we're back in the saddle. I want to thank the staff at PACT-TV, where this program is produced. And we do have a website, MinnesotaHockeyConnection.com. We have a Facebook page. Find us on Facebook and like us there. And Jerry, we'll be back here next week to drop the puck.
Okay. See you at the rink.